Everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
It's good. I'm rocking a new Halloween t-shirt sent to us
Cute.
by sweet listener Lana. So thank you so much, Lana. She sent
Aw,
us some
thank you so much, Lana.
really, yeah, darling Halloween t-shirts that we're going to have a blast with. So
We sure
it's
will.
cold and I can't get warm today, so I'm wearing the long-sleeved one.
Ooh,
Trying
nice.
to live. Yeah.
Nice.
But other
Well,
than
I have
that,
a little...
I'm good.
Good. Glad to hear it. I have a little visitor. I've been holding her, and she's been really good, and now that it's time, she's not being good. Here's BB. Y'all haven't seen BB in a while. She has grown a lot, although I'll tell you that most of the growing is hair.
Mm-hmm.
BB has the most dense coat of a cat I've ever had. Look at her tail. This is her tail, you guys.
Oh my goodness.
And she is
Wow.
5 months old. She is absolutely beautiful, and she is very sweet. She's a lot more cooperative generally than Gigi is. Gigi is a wild woman, and B is a little more chill. See her little face? Definitely got the grumpy face going.
Mm-hmm.
But she's such a sweetheart.
Oh, she's
And
precious.
Just adore her. She's so much fun. I'm going to let her go because she wants to get down. But anyway, it's been a while since I've been able to show you one of the kittens, so I thought I would show her off just a little.
She is just darling.
She is just darling.
Just too busy having fun.
Oh my gosh, right? She and her sister both are like, yeah, we're not really down for all this holding, petting stuff. Like, we're busy. We have stuff to do, mostly naughty, getting in stuff we're not supposed to, and beating each other up. That's what they spend a great deal of their lives doing. So, but yeah, isn't she gorgeous? Oh,
She's beautiful. The polar opposite of my dogs these days, because all they want is to be cuddled in blankets. And we've had this situation where I have 3 Chihuahuas and 1 Basset Hound. And the Basset is the baby. She's just turned 1, and she wants to be held and cuddled all the time. But in my recliner, there's not room for her. I can get all 3 of the little boys all cuddled up. She's a big girl. Yeah, to get them all cuddled up in a blankie, and we're happy. And then poor Nell has nowhere to be. And she paces, and she cries, and she scratches at the arm of the chair. And I get her on the rocking chair next to me, and she kind of leans over and gets some loves. And I keep saying, I want to buy one of those recliners that's more like a love seat, that's big. So there's lots of room for all of the dogs to be. So last week, as luck would have it, I found one on Marketplace, and we bought it and brought it home. And we're calling it the mama chair because, this is mom and the dogs. And you cannot believe how sweet this is. She is so happy. And she climbs right up in the mama chair and snuggles right up with us. And earlier we were recording an episode of Tater Talk, and she was crying at my office door. And when I got out, she was throwing herself on my legs, howling and bawling. So we went and got all snuggled up in the mama chair, and then she was fine. So obviously everything that happens in this house is for the dogs. That's just, or the pigs, depending. But it's for them.
In my house, it's for the dogs or the cats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
How funny.
Told a friend who could not believe I bought a new recliner just so that there would be a bigger place for the dogs to lay. But, I would.
That is, duh.
Mm-hmm.
The dogs must be happy.
It is, however, I'm very short and my legs are not very long. And it's not electric. My old recliner was electric, so it's so simple, right? This is not. I can hardly get in and out of it. It's insane. But we're doing it. By God, we're doing it.
Anything for those puppers, huh?
Yeah. But you guys, there is a situation going on just a few blocks from my house right now.
Yeah.
This is what the police put out a little more than 32 minutes ago now, but this is ongoing. Rexburg police conducted a traffic stop where police located potential explosive devices inside the vehicle, Please avoid the area while this investigation is being conducted. So, of course,
Holy
Scott was like,
shit.
let's go check it out.
Hello.
And I
He
was like,
said,
I
avoid the
can't.
area.
I said, I can't. I have to record a podcast right now. But what the hell's going on?
Yikes. That's scary.
Yeah. That is pretty crazy. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. I don't know. If the whole neighborhood's
Yeah.
about to go kaboomy or, we don't
Hopefully
know.
not. I mean, that's not that far from you either, is it?
No, it's not very far at all. No.
Yikes.
So, yikes on bikes. What is that
What
about?
is all this crime around our houses happening? I had my little brush with
Yeah.
some guy getting tased in my backyard a week or so ago, and now explosives near your house. What in the hell?
Yeah. I just looked back up on Facebook just to double check. They haven't updated, so apparently it's still happening.
Yikes.
Right? Idaho is out of control once again. It's true. Yeah.
Isn't it always? Ugh.
Well, but also, there was an incident over the weekend where we lost a police dog.
Yeah.
I wanted to honor him.
Yes.
Oh, let's see. Well, of course. I don't know how I can be as unprepared as I feel like I was today, but it's okay. Oh no, I do have what I need. Here it is.
Oh,
This is the Nampa PD. Nampa is in outside of Boise. We are sad to report the death of Nampa Police K-9 Riddick. The patrol SUV that Riddick was riding in was rammed by a suspect during a police pursuit. The vehicle rolled off the roadway and crashed. And unfortunately, Riddick was killed in that accident. His handler
that
is
sucks.
safe. I think he was injured, but he's okay. But very sad to see a police dog go down.
Yeah.
So, have a safe trip over the Rainbow Bridge, Riddick. May you have all of the snacks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and to his handler, because I can't imagine how heartbreaking that must be for him
Right.
and everybody that's worked with this dog.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, and I hope they throw all the books at that motherfucker that caused that accident.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'll raise your spirits just a little.
Okay.
My Halloween collection at Fidget Whimsy, my Halloween fidgets, are
Yes.
fully available. So I'm going to show you.
So cute.
Thank you. I put that out on my socials today, but I thought I'd let you all know too, because some of you have said you were interested in some of those. I know some of you have already been ordering. Binks the cat is very popular.
Oh, well,
But that's
Binks is
just
adorable.
it's fidgetwhimsy.com. I'll put it in the chat, but it's also over on our website, truecrimesquad.com. But I'm really excited. So if you're looking for some fun Halloween stuff, I have it.
Absolutely. Well, yay.
Yeah. So
Well, they're
I'm excited
very
about
cute.
that.
Binks is cute, but they're all freaking cute.
They are the bat. Oh gosh, guys, that bat keychain. He hangs upside down and he's got fangs. He's so cute. So cute. And the Frankenstein. Somebody said the Frankenstein. I absolutely adore the Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
So I love them all.
So
I
cute.
think they're really fun. So yeah, go check that out if you're into Halloween stuff.
Absolutely.
I am. I've had a ton of fun making those.
Oh, yeah, they're so cute. I actually have a little show and tell as well. My fused uranium glass necklaces are back in stock on Etsy. So I had several of you that wanted them last time and they sold out really fast. So I have some more made and up on Etsy. So you can find them over there. If you were in the
Nice.
chat, I'm putting up a link. But if you're not, that's just Joyful Goddess Designs over on Etsy. So I have the silver and I have the antique brass. So you can get either one. And of
Awesome.
course,
They're
they're
so
made
pretty.
from, aren't they cool? They're made from crushing up uranium glass and fusing it in a kiln, and then, of course, turning it into necklaces. So that's what it looks like when it glows.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's under black light, of course. But at any rate, yeah, so those are available right now.
Very cool. We're getting
Yeah,
all crafty. You can tell it's fall.
right?
We have more time because we're all crafty.
Yeah, safe to wear. Yes, Teresa. The uranium is in the I'm going to say the structure of the glass. That's not exactly the right word. But at any rate, that's the it's trapped in there, so it's even safe to crush it and refuse it like I did.
Oh, nice.
Linny, I put a link above. Yeah,
Also, if you
for
just go to True Crime Squad, you'll see Katie's Etsy store is there, and you can find it there.
find it there. Thank you.
Try to keep our all our links in one place.
Yeah. And lastly, you may have seen Nate Eaton's news last week.
Yeah.
The Daybell house and barn, all the outbuildings, and both stories of the house, in case you want to know, were razed to the ground and hauled directly away, as well as the
Mm-hmm.
tree that JJ was buried under. Apparently, that was a
Yes.
request of JJ's family that that tree be removed, and so it was. So I did go out there. You may have already seen Nate's pictures anyway, but I did go out and get a few shots.
Wow.
Yeah,
How weird.
it is surreal to go out
That
there and have everything be gone.
wild.
So to give you this picture, to give you some perspective, this is on the side of the house. Normally on the left, that dirt patch, that's where the house would have been. And this is the driveway that pulls in. That on the right is where the red barn would have been.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a
Wow.
little more close-up spot. That's that dirt patch is where the house was.
Wow. That is
And just
bizarre
a little more,
that it's just gone.
just completely out of there. Yep. It's really weird. Really weird. I think it's good. I agree with it, with pulling the house out. I know that the people that live out there that have to look at this every day, I hope this brings them some peace, more specifically. But
So
our whole
too.
community, because we really need to heal from all of this nonsense and horror. So that's what's going on. It's not Kay and
Mhm.
Larry. It's a local couple.
We don't know who. They're
Mm-mm.
remaining anonymous,
Mm-hmm.
apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good, Linny. I'm glad. I'll get it right out to you. Yeah. So anyway, that's what it looks like out there. We'll keep tracking
So
that
weird.
to see what's next.
And there was some hot mic about something about bones being found. Um, as far as we know, that was animal bones
Mm-hmm.
when they were digging up.
Yeah. Well, remember
No,
what they said about behind the barn, that they
the
apparently had been
raccoons.
killing a whole bunch of raccoons and burying them back there. Yeah.
Honestly, that in and of itself makes me furious. I know a lot of you guys too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. So we're gonna keep watching, see what happens here, see what they do with that property now,
Mm-hmm.
and see if they'll cough up any more information. It's kind of weird. The whole thing's kind of odd.
It's all
Like if
uncomfortable.
they're a local people, why don't they just say?
I know.
I don't really
It's weird to me
get
how
the
secretive
anonymous
it's
stuff.
been. Well, and I know everyone's like, it's not Frank. It's not Frank Vandersloot. East Idaho News is like, it's definitely not Frank. But yet again, who had the scoop?
Mm-hmm.
Who had the opportunity to tour the house and make a video of it before they knocked it down?
Yep.
Who knew they were tearing the house down and was there in a helicopter?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little bananas to think that Vandersloot is not involved in this in some way. But
I
maybe
know.
I'm
Does
completely
make you
wrong.
think. Maybe so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the community is happy. We grew up with a girl, a friend of ours that we grew up with. It was her grandparents' house before it was the Daybell's house.
Yeah.
And this whole conversation has been very painful for them. They sold the house when Grandma and Grandpa died. And then, of course, the Daybells bought it. And then all of this nonsense happened. And it's been awful. So they're really heartbroken about everything that's happened with the house. They were kind of heartbroken to see the house come down. But also, just sick about what happened in that house. So it's kind of a catch 22 for them, probably. But I think by and large, the
Hmm.
community is happy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think people are glad they don't have to look at it as it was.
I think so
So
too. Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
So that's
Well, if
that.
you can believe it, that's not even really what we're here to cover. So,
We
uh,
just had a lot today.
weirdly, yeah. Okay, so Katie, I'm going to kick the mic to you for some WTF news.
hmm Well, guys, the police in San Francisco have had it. They've had it with all of the speeders. They've got a really big problem with people speeding and not paying any attention to crosswalks and to pedestrians. It's led to some deaths and a lot of accidents, and they just feel like people are going too fast and not paying any attention. So they were like, what do we do? What do we do to get people's attention? I mean, we have signs, we have flashing lights, we have everything in place that we should have, but people are just taking off like a rocket and not paying attention to the crosswalks. So they thought, maybe what we do is we put something in the crosswalk that people absolutely will have to see. And if they don't, that'll really tell us, who needs to be pulled over and reminded about what the laws are. So this is what they did. That's right. They put a man in a big blow up rainbow chicken outfit to act as the pedestrian and attempt to cross the road and had police nearby watching. And when I'm sure he was an officer as well, but when people did not pay attention and stop for him being in the crosswalk, they pulled him over. So that's the new plan. Giant blow up chicken costumes. That's
I
how we'll catch
mean,
the bad guys.
points for creativity, I gotta say. If you can't
Yep.
see that guy and think, I should probably stop for him, he's in the crosswalk, I don't know what to tell you.
I,
And that's not difficult to see.
it's hard for me to understand exactly, yeah, how you could not see that. But that's essentially what they're saying. If you can't see that, you are really not paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're just blowing past anyway.
You
That's
just
what looked
don't
like to
care.
me, is they were like, they just didn't care.
Right? Is that entrapment? Is it? It may be. Yeah. Why
Good
did the chicken
question.
cross the road or not cross the road? Yeah.
Hmm. I know. The jokes are writing themselves in this
Uh,
situation.
they really are. Yeah. JR thought it was going to be worse. I mean, really, you could have a whole circus of blow up animals. You could have dinosaurs crossing the road. You could have all kinds of
Hmm.
things.
You good?
I just hope
I
that
mean,
none
if
of the
you can't
chickens go
stop for a
splat.
T-Rex, I don't even know what to say to you, you know?
Right. Who even
I
are
want
you?
one of those T-Rex costumes so bad. I think they're so funny.
Did you see the video? There's a video floating around of a school that on at field day. It's an elementary school on field day. All of the teachers dress up in blow up costumes and have a race. Have you seen
Yes.
that?
I
Oh
have
my
seen that.
God.
It is so freaking funny.
There's a lot of falling down.
Oh my god. Well, trying to run in those is hilarious, and that's what's so funny is what they look like when they're trying to run.
Yes.
Hilarious.
So funny. Maybe paint the crosswalks to look like a big pothole. Hey, in Idaho, you wouldn't even have to paint them. They
No,
already
you
do look
wouldn't.
like a big pothole.
Mm-hmm.
Potential damage to your car would matter more to them than killing a pedestrian. Sadly, that's probably true.
That's true.
Thank you, JR. Yeah, and I think, who said it? Sand Willow got her necklace as well. Yay.
Oh, good.
Good. I can't wait to get them out. Yeah.
That's
Well, there you
awesome.
go. So I'm going to kick it back over to you.
All right. Well, we've got some crime news update. Well, the Carly Gregg trial is over. And let me just play the video.
You can sit right there, ma'am. Ma'am, I see you're holding some papers. The jury been able to reach a verdict in any of these counts.
Yes, sir.
All right, if you would, please hand the paper to the bailiff. Ms. Gregg, please rise and come to the podium, along with your attorneys. All right, the verdicts appear to be in proper form. Verdict of the jury is count one. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. Count two. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of attempted murder as charged in the indictment. Count three. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in the indictment. Please be seated, Ms. Gregg. Be as follows. As to count one, the jury having fixed the verdict at life imprisonment, this court will sentence you to life imprisonment. As to count two, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment. As to count three, you'll be sentenced to 10 years to serve. You'll be required to pay court cost fees and assessments in the amount of $431.50. Ms. Gregg, regarding any appeal of your judgment of conviction and order of sentence and in accordance with Wright v. State 577, Southern 2nd 387, the court wants to inform you that pursuant to Rule 4E of the Mississippi Rules of Appellate Procedure, the notice of appeal required by Rule 3 of such rules shall be filed with the circuit clerk within 30 days after the date of the denial of any motion for a new trial, or the date of imposition of sentence, whichever is later. Pursuant to Rule 4E, if you make a timely motion under the Mississippi Rules of Criminal Procedure for a judgment of acquittal notwithstanding the verdict of the jury or for a new trial under Rule 25.1, the time for appeal shall run from the entry of the order denying such motion. Finally, Rule 25.1 subsection C provides that a motion for a new trial must be made within 10 days of entry of the judgment, which includes both adjudication of guilt and sentence. Should you make a decision on the record to appeal, that decision will stand unless a written statement to the contrary signed by you and your attorney is filed with the court. Should you make a decision to waive appeal, that decision will stand unless you give written notice to the court and your attorney prior to expiration of the time in which you perfect an appeal. Should no decision to appeal be made by you, your failure to express a desire to appeal shall be considered a waiver of your right to appeal, and that waiver will stand unless you give written notice to the court and to your attorney prior to expiration of the time in which to perfect an appeal. Have you made a decision to appeal your conviction and sentence? All right. Court will be in recess.
Your Honor, I need clarification. I apologize. On the
Sentences will run concurrent.
So that's what it looks like when Mississippi gets revenge on a 14-year-old kid, I guess.
Yep.
I I mean, I understand that she did it. We all know she did it. She never said she didn't do it.
Yep.
But life without the possibility of parole
Mm-hmm.
was the right move here.
Yeah.
It makes me absolutely sick. And the way the judge was so cold and spoke so fast that she couldn't even understand and didn't even bother to say if the sentence was going to be consecutive or concurrent until the defense attorney asked. Like, the one of the prosecutors went on the news afterward and called her evil. We had an interesting experience last night. We were having dinner with a bunch of our family and a bunch of our like older teen young adult family, and they started talking about this case on their own, and they were talking about what a villain Carly is and how terrible she is. And then we had to tell them the rest of the story,
Yeah.
because this is what the media has done to this
Yeah.
case and the prosecution, honestly. It makes me physically ill. It
Mm-hmm.
honestly makes me physically ill.
Yep.
I did look up Mississippi law to see if you can even sentence a minor to life in prison. Right. He didn't give a speech before the verdict or after the sentencing. Nothing. The judge did
Mm-hmm.
nothing but just dismiss without giving any opportunity
Yep.
really to even process it. It went by so quickly. I kind of doubt Carly even knew much of what was even said.
Mm-hmm.
But Mississippi law does allow for a life sentence for a minor. However, the U.S. Supreme Court has said that a life sentence for a minor is unconstitutional, and that the only way she can actually serve a life sentence is if they can prove that she cannot be rehabilitated. And she is 15 years old.
Yeah.
How can they possibly say that
Mm-hmm.
at 15 years old?
Yeah.
So this will get appealed
Yeah.
on multiple levels. That sentence will be appealed for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have real questions about effectiveness of counsel. There were some major problems with that defense attorney team.
Yeah.
They left out a lot, they missed a lot, they were so unprepared. Um, it I don't know if she'll get an effective counsel, but I think she will get a lot of appeals given her age.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me sick because is this the right thing? Is this what Carly's mother would have wanted for Carly?
Right. Was this
Because I don't think it
justice?
is.
Yeah.
You saw her stepdad's face. He's absolutely devastated. He knows. He knows this is wrong. He
Yeah.
knows this is adults uh, taking revenge on a child.
Mm-hmm.
To be this harsh is absolutely sickening. I and they gave the jury absolutely no choice but to do this. They
Right.
have to follow the law.
They had
And the
nothing to
way
work
that they've
with. Yeah.
charged her, they really didn't
Mm-hmm.
have any other option. It
Mm-hmm.
and right, somebody said if we have juvenile courts, what's the purpose of having juvenile courts if we don't use them?
Right.
Right.
And it's just gotten to
Right.
be commonplace anymore to throw most of these cases at the adult system.
Yes. And Kathy, absolutely. And this is the other thing that blows me away. It was 6 months from the time of the crime to the sentence.
Yeah.
How many murder trials are complete in a 6 month time period?
Yeah.
None that I can think of. Even here in Idaho, where we don't have that many going on, they still take years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. And like, yeah, look at Robert Tellis, an
Right.
adult,
20 years. Yeah.
20 years. This is so incredibly harsh, and it will be appealed.
An
But
adult
what's
in
going to
his right
happen?
mind.
Right. But what is going to happen to this child?
Yeah.
I'm right. There's no incentive for her. I would imagine she's a major suicide risk at this point because she's
Oh,
got
yeah.
nothing to live for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. The juvenile court system said they didn't want the case. I'm not really sure that that's how that decision should be
Right?
made.
Why should they get to choose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Sandwillow says when I worked with criminal teens, they got their records erased at 18 and were free to go. Right. And here in Idaho, you can have your record expunged at 25 if you have a record as a minor and don't repeat offend as um, as an adult. That you can
Yeah.
get expungement at 25. But this is crazy
Yeah.
to call this an adult. To call this an adult crime is insane.
Yeah.
And to deny the very clearly established mental health crisis that was happening prior to this.
Yeah.
is it that is a crime.
That
It
is a
makes
crime.
me sick. When this all came down on Friday, I couldn't even talk about it. I was so upset. It just,
Yeah.
this is not how the system is supposed to work.
No.
And using the system to get revenge on a child is disgusting.
The way the judge and the prosecutor in this case were.
Both the prosecutors
Yeah. Yeah.
calling her evil in the news media. I mean, come on. You really can't acknowledge, after everything you know about her and her history, that there were mitigating factors?
Right.
Yes, she's been held in an adult jail in isolation
Hmm.
since she was arrested.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're going to put her in adult prison in isolation now. Is that the plan? I
Right.
don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I know, like in Michigan, the juvenile system didn't want Ethan Crumbley and said they couldn't house him, but he shot up a school and murdered
Right.
multiple people. This is a very different situation. And
It is,
also, now
except
that
that I
she's on better medication and more stable, she's not a threat.
no. And the problem is that, at least they had a big hearing in Michigan to determine, can they even give Ethan Crumbley a life sentence, and would that be the right move? And there was some actual care given to the fact that he is a child. Carly didn't get any of that.
No, she didn't.
And Ethan Crumbley has proven himself to continue to be problematic since
Hmm.
he's been in jail. Carly
Yeah,
has not.
no. Oh, Kathy says she will be in an adult prison in Gen Pop. Oh, her attorney
Yeah.
was on another channel today. Wow. Yep,
It's just
that's
disgusting.
terrifying.
How can you do that to a 15-year-old child?
Yeah.
A 15-year-old mentally ill child. And will she be able to continue to get her medication? They've kept her medicated throughout the trial so that
Hmm.
she was able to stand trial. But honestly, you guys, chances are good they won't continue to medicate her in prison unless she becomes a problem. If she's a danger to herself or others, they will medicate her, but they won't just medicate her because she needs it.
Right. Or
So,
continue to adjust her meds as needed. Yeah.
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 Right. Yeah. The family history of bipolar disorder and schizophrenia is terrifying.
Hmm.
This child needs treatment, is what she
Yeah.
needs. Ethan Crumbley also needs treatment. I have less confidence that Ethan can be rehabilitated, considering his behavior since he's been in jail.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't understand throwing children away for life. That makes no sense to me at all.
No.
So that just made me
Very
sick.
sad. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Kathy. They'll fix her broken teeth if she gets them, but not her mental health. Yeah.
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 So that is Carly Gregg. We will keep an eye
Hmm.
on things that, it'll take a while now, but her appeals, they've already, said that they're going to appeal, and
Hmm.
we'll see what happens, because that sentence won't stand unless they can prove that she cannot be rehabilitated. And I just do not see how they can prove that in a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
How can you possibly prove what she's going to be like in 20 years?
Yeah.
Think about yourself at 14 and 15 years old. Somebody in the
Right.
chat said, I would be in prison for life for some of the stuff I did at 15.
Hmm.
Right? Like, the system used to allow for child crime to be considered the crimes committed by children.
Hmm.
And we just don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
We punish those school shooters rather than change the system.
Yeah.
Ugh, just grossed out by the whole thing. So anyway, we will keep you updated as things change, because they
Yeah.
will eventually with her. And with that, Katie, I forget, you have WTF and something else.
I have Idaho.
Oh, right. Oh, Idaho.
Oh, Idaho. Just knock it off. So now the Idaho prison system says that they are renovating the execution chamber after their failed attempt at executing Thomas Creech. And they're being sketchy about it. I mean,
Shocker. Idaho, sketchy.
what? So they are apparently, there's a few things that they're trying to do. They're renovating the execution chamber. They're trying to figure out what to renovate and how in order to enact the firing squad. And they're working on changing their own policies in order to put a central line into potential death penalty executions versus a general line, which is what they've been doing. A central line is not typically approved for uh,
Lethal injection.
thank you. Uh, but they're trying to do just that because, as you know, when they tried to execute back in February, they were unable to get a line because, they're trying to execute these really old guys that are in really bad health and they're having a hard time actually even getting a vein. So now they're trying to change those plans in order to use a central vein. And the only reason we know that is because Gerald Pizzuto, who also is on death row and whose number has come up a couple of times recently,
Mm-hmm.
is has filed suit asking for their updated plans because they've been refusing to release those, and so a few of those plans have now had to be released to Gerald Pizzuto. So now we know that that's one of the things they're trying to do. They don't have any current death warrants right now, though I'm sure that's coming. But basically, they're saying that now that the legislature has reenacted the death penalty or death penalty via firing squad, they've got to come up with a facility. And so they've started plans to and renovations to do that, though that seems to be a long ways away. But yeah, they just can't quit. My God.
It's just disgusting.
Yep.
And to think
Yep.
that firing squad is not cruel and unusual punishment. Are you fucking
Mm-hmm.
kidding me?
Mm-hmm. Awful. Yep. Awful,
Yeah.
awful.
Idaho up to bullshit as usual.
Oh man, it is just never ending. And the bloodthirsty. Idaho is so bloodthirsty these days. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it
So,
makes me sick. Ugh.
I know, it's gross. So Chad, that's for you, honey. That's for you.
Yeah, it is.
Chad
Well, because
Daybell is
Gerald
one.
Pizzuto wants firing squad.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
asked for it.
Hmm. Yeah, because of his health issues and the medications that he's been on, getting lethal injection would be cruel and unusual punishment because of the interactions with medications and the pain it would put his body in. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and Brian for sure. Yep, that's what that
yeah,
whole law was
Koberger.
made
That's
for. Was for Koberger. Yeah.
gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that. So with that, I'm going to kick it back over to you.
Yes. Okay. Well, I do have another crime news update. So, you may or may not know who this guy is, and that would really help if I uploaded his picture so that I could show it to you. This guy, right here, is uh, Trump Assassin 2.0.
Yes.
His name is, sorry, I'm still so thrown by the Carly Gregg thing. I can barely think, to be perfectly honest. But this is Ryan Roth, or Routh. I'm going to say Roth. Ryan Roth. He's the guy that Secret Service caught on the edge of the golf course, pointing his rifle through the fence, all set up.
Mm-hmm.
He never fired the gun, and he was never anywhere near where Trump was. But they thought at the time it was an assassination attempt. They shot at him, He got away in a vehicle, and then they were able eventually to catch him. So here we know some new stuff now that is pretty terrifying. So apparently, he gave a box, a locked box, to a friend and said, "Just hold this for me, but don't open it." So the friend didn't open it until he saw Routh on TV for a potential assassination attempt on Donald Trump. So then he opened the box and called the cops and said, uh, I think you probably better come see this stuff."
Oh
There
my
were a
gosh.
bunch of weapons, a bunch of cell phones, you know, ammo and stuff, but there were two letters. Let's see. We have two letters. Let me show you. They've released one of them. So I'll read you some of it. It's a little hard to read, but I think it's pretty important to hear. This letter on the outside, it was written, "If I fail," and it says, "Dear world, this was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I am so sorry I failed you. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I could muster. It is up to you now to finish the job." And then he makes an offer of money for someone to complete the job, which we are not reading that out loud, and that is in no way a call to action. Everyone across the globe, from the youngest to the oldest, knows that Trump is unfit to be anything, much less a U.S. president. U.S. presidents must, at bare minimum, embody the moral fabric that is America and be kind, caring, and selfless, and always stand for humanity. Trump fails to understand any of this, basically. And that's all we have in the letter.
Mm-hmm.
So investigators now are like, well, we were holding this guy on weapons charges, and they'd kind of been waffling about, do we charge him with an assassination attempt or not? Then you now have this letter written by this guy that says, hey, yeah, this was in fact an assassination attempt. So now he will be charged with an assassination attempt, which is much more
Mm-hmm.
serious.
Yeah.
But I mean, the dude has been up to some weird
Mm-hmm.
shenanigans for
Oh
a
yeah.
while now. So he went to Ukraine, um,
Wow.
and tried to get, this was in the early days of the war in Ukraine, and he was trying to get recruited by the Ukrainian army to fight the Russians. And he never did get recruited, but he was over there trying to make that happen. Apparently, he has had a plot to assassinate Vladimir Putin, to kill him in his sleep, although I don't know how he would ever get anywhere close to him, except that's why he was trying to get into the Ukrainian army. Um, there was a nurse in Ukraine, in Kiev, who, she was a nurse and aid worker, and she kind of got to know him. And she said that she felt like he was a ticking time bomb, that he was going to do something scary. He had talked about using explosives, poison, and other cross border maneuvers to get to Vladimir Putin and kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wow.
so apparently, that happened. He also, they found that he had done some searches about how to get from West Palm Beach, Florida to Mexico. So it did look as though he was trying to, he was going to try to get over the border and get away. He did have in his possession Donald Trump's like regular schedule of where he would be and when, and they have evidence that he was in fact stalking him,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that he must have felt that this was his best shot at it.
Yeah.
He never really got there, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's really scary. I mean, we cannot be we cannot allow unaliving
No.
of politicians like this, any of them.
No. No. What kind of
It's very
country do we
scary,
want to live in?
right?
Yeah. No,
It
it's
is very scary
terrifying.
to tolerate any political violence like this.
Also, you think this country's divided now?
Right.
An assassination would,
Oh my God.
the
It
violence that
would
would
be
erupt in this country would get absolutely
terrifying.
terrifying. Yeah.
It would. Right. And Teresa, how did he get that schedule? And that's some of the questions that investigators are trying to answer.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. So this nurse from that was in Ukraine actually reported him. There was a tip, and there was a tip to the FBI in 2019 that he had a gun, even though he is a convicted felon and shouldn't have a gun. Like there were people around him who could see something was wrong, and they were trying.
Hmm.
There have been various attempts to report him because there was fear that he was going to do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Uh, I the sad part is we don't have a good way in the U.S. to report and track domestic terrorists,
No.
and you know that and unfortunately, a part of that is that there are way too many of them to keep an eye on
Yeah.
all of them. And
Certainly.
people are saying, that the FBI and ATF and Homeland Security and stuff had heads up about him and they should have been watching him closer. And that may be true. But I mean, honestly, how many Ryan Roths are there out there?
Oh God.
We know that there are so many.
A lot. Yeah.
There are a lot. Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of times, in an assassination attempt like this, the perpetrator is killed. So
Hmm.
there's no opportunity to like
Understand them.
understand or talk to them or try to figure it out. And so it's very
Yeah.
different with
Hmm.
this guy because they can actually talk to him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There may be more out there. But yeah, Kristi, it is unsettling how many people there are out there like this guy
Hmm.
that, would plan something like this and try to carry it out. There are, I'm thinking
Indeed.
of that guy in Utah last year that got killed by the FBI
Hmm.
who was threatening because Biden was going to be in Salt Lake City
Yeah.
and he was making threats and like
Hmm.
it's just
Well, an
it's
The
really
FBI
scary.
just went to his house to talk to him about it, and he
And
opened
he
fire on
started
them.
firing on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or
he was just an
the
old
guy
man
from
that
Boise that tried to climb the fence to the White House during the Obama
yes.
era
Yes,
with the
absolutely.
same plans. Yeah.
Yeah. So, keep an eye on your friends and neighbors.
Yeah.
You just don't know if somebody's been radicalized in some way and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But interesting to see where this all pans out because I have questions about how did he have Trump scheduled? Did he just figure it out by stalking him? Did he have some inside intel from somewhere? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what else might come up.
Hmm.
But I mean, just this photo of him, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be concerned if I saw that guy walking down the street, for sure.
Hmm.
Okay. And with that, Katie, you have some more WTF news for us.
Yeah. Well, WTF. Tomorrow, Marcellus Williams is going to be executed.
I have no words for this.
This is Marcellus. He has been on death row since 1998. This is the 1998 death of Felicia Gale in Missouri. And Marcellus Williams is one of the people who've been either on death row or in prison for a long time for crimes that it has later been determined that they likely did not commit.
Right.
And a prosecutor has teamed up with his legal team and has been trying desperately to at least get this execution staved off so that they could continue to work on this case. Because what they discovered is that the murder weapon did not have Marcellus Williams' DNA on it. It had someone else's DNA on it. Later, they decided that it may have been contaminated, and so they don't really know whose DNA is on it. But the prosecutor, from looking at the entire case and the way it was handled, feels like this case was racially motivated, that Marcellus Williams did not get a fair trial, and has been petitioning the courts ever since to exonerate him because the prosecutors are convinced that he's innocent. And the state attorney general, has absolutely doubled down, pushed very hard for this execution, and this went all the way to the Supreme Court last week. And honestly, I think most people were like, okay, well, the Supreme Court's going to look at all of this evidence, and obviously they're going to go, yeah, we can't execute this guy. And they didn't. They said, go for it. So tomorrow, Missouri is going to execute a likely innocent man that has been in prison now since 1998 for a crime he very likely did not commit. Based on the evidence, I'm going to side with the prosecutor's office who prosecuted this case, who is now saying this man is innocent. And if they're saying it, I'm going to team up with them.
Yeah, me too.
It is a travesty. This is not justice.
No.
My heart is broken for Marcellus Williams' family, who I think since 2021, when the prosecutors first started trying to get this case to exonerate this man, to now, I don't think they ever thought he would actually be executed. I'm sure that they thought and hoped, beyond all hope, that fairness and reason would abound, and that at some point he'd be coming home. And instead, he's going to die. It's disgusting. This shit needs to stop.
It is.
Yeah.
This is murder.
Yeah.
How can you execute someone that you don't have 100% surety commit the crime?
Now remember, there are 4 other people who have recently been exonerated in Missouri under very similar circumstances, who had prosecutors that, after DNA evidence came back to the contrary, were able to exonerate them. And they've been trying to do the same thing for Marcellus Williams for the last 4 years. Last 3 years, sorry. Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why they can't, at the very least, vacate the death warrant.
Yeah.
And give him another trial.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to be sure? What are you trying to hide?
Mm-hmm.
If you're sure and there's any question, how does anybody trust the legal system in that state? You can't, obviously.
Yeah. And yes, the witnesses admitted that they testified under duress because they were facing their own legal problems. Yeah.
This man is going to die for that.
Yep. I don't think there's a stay coming, JR. The governor has already said he won't offer a stay, and the Supreme Court is not offering a stay. And obviously the AG is not going to do a damn thing. He wants it to happen, so...
What is the matter with these human beings?
I think they're mad that they've had to overturn some of their other cases and free some people from prison and face the consequences of that, and they're just, by God, not going to let it happen again. That's what I think.
This is so wrong. On every level.
Yeah.
This
but
is
yes,
why I don't
prayers
think
for
we
a
should
stay
have
of
a death penalty.
execution. Absolutely, JR. Yeah. Yeah.
If one person is executed who was innocent, and we know it's already happened,
Oh, yeah.
then that's the reason to not ever have the death penalty in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
To take that risk, I just cannot understand.
Yep. Yep. I'm just ill over that one. Yeah. Yep, it's terrible. So there's that. So we'll be on execution watch tomorrow and see. Oh, there was a hearing in Shanna Gardner this morning. I did post it. It's about 35 minutes long. Uh, so you can go back and watch that if you're interested. We are going to cover the Shanna Gardner trial when we finally get there. But at any rate, there was a hearing this morning for Shanna.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, sorry to be so
Yeah.
perky tonight.
We'll try and find something funnier tomorrow. I don't know if we will,
We'll
actually. I know what
we'll
I'm covering
try,
tomorrow,
but
and it's not funny.
there's some shit going down, man.
Yeah. But
This is why
being
local elections
informed,
really, really matter.
absolutely. Being informed citizens is incredibly important.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because these are elected officials
Hmm.
in that state making the choice to murder a man that they don't know is guilty. Wow. Well, thank you all so much for being here and for being a part of our squad. We do appreciate you all very much and appreciate your
Patreon.
presence. Oh, yeah. We have a couple of Patreons. They're going up tonight.
Hmm.
I haven't posted them yet, but I got them.
We
I
have
realized-
two brand new Patreons.
I
Yes.
realized this afternoon I have not put them up. What the hell? Anyway, they are done and they are going up.
Mm-hmm.
So
We're ahead
you
of
don't
the
want to
game.
miss that. Yeah, we are. We're actually ahead this time. So watch out for those. If you haven't joined Patreon, that's a good way to get some more content from us. Thanks to everybody who attended the watch party last week. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was great.
And of course, that is a little subscription over on our Buy Me a Coffee that helps support what we do. And, you know, we just appreciate y'all so much, whether you're here live or you're here after the fact. It doesn't matter. We love y'all. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. And fingers crossed that, like, you know, my neighborhood doesn't go kablooey. This,
Yeah, fingers crossed on that. Definitely.
it's not, it won't. It won't, right?
Right. It won't.
It's
And
probably
with that,
fine.
you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.